I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Garoga. That's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember the kiss your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
You come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. Here to make war, we surrender. False words, important things are new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. And the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework planet. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. That means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 word-written launches on the rest. With a special pride never written before. Or sings tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Birdo Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Birdo Prey 5, Qapla. And welcome to Deep Space Nine Wednesday for May 12th, 2021. Today we watch Season 5, Episode 9, The Ascent. Originally broadcast November 25th, 1996. Way back when. This episode sees Odo and Quark have to climb a mountain on a desolate planet to survive. And I'll be honest, that was not my favorite episode. But I had forgotten about the B plot. And the B plot takes place on the station. And it's the first episode where Nog returns from Starfleet Academy. And Nog and Jake move in together. Jake moves out of his father's quarters for the first time in his life. And Jake and Nog have to go through the pains of living together. And that is actually a very decent story. So I forgot about that half of the episode. And so I look it back and I think maybe I misjudged this episode. Maybe the Ascent. Not as bad as I remembered it to be. Since there's basically a whole second half I kind of ignored. So we'll see. We'll go through it again today. Watch it again, and we'll see what happens. In the meantime, Not Ryan Johnson was first in chat with hello and Qapla. Hail Karoga. Hail Karoga. Dan23 says Nog was at Starfleet Academy quickly. Well, yeah, a lot of this happened, off screen between the seasons. He spent his time there while the seasons weren't airing. Shows weren't airing, but time had still passed. John Street says, where is this Birdo Prey 5 guy? I want Sassy O'Bite's new food item, Beagle Burgers with orphan bacon. Oh my God. So disgusting. And Josh Street at 3:30, 35 minutes before the stream was started to begin, says Birdo Prey 5 is late. It's now 4:07, 2 minutes after the stream was started to begin, and we started well before that. John Street says we haven't seen or heard from Sassy number 26 this week. Birdo Prey must have had Beagle Bites this week and is now waiting on Sassy 27 to arrive. No, Sassy's here. She's just outside with Mamo Prey right now. John Street says, remember if you want, I lost the before chat comments, BertoPray5, to read your before at BertoPray5 comments. Make sure to put at BertoPray5 in every comment, even those not to BertoPray5. No. If you want me to read your comment, especially during the video, be sure to put at BertoPray5 into the comment so YouTube highlights it for me, and I will do my best to read it. And if you put BertoPray5 into every comment, then I'm just going to have to skip some. John Street says, remember to bookmark the BertoPray5 screening room to watch along with BertoPray5 only while he is live streaming the episode or movie. Go to https://www.bertopray5.com/sr. Yes, and thank you, John Street. The address is also at the bottom of the YouTube video. It says screening room, and you have the web address there. You go to that address in a separate tab or a separate browser or on a separate device, and you can watch the episode today live while we watch it. If you can't do that, or you have your own copy, either on DVD or Amazon Prime Video or Netflix or Hulu or Paramount Plus, get it ready. And again, it's season 5, episode 9, The Ascent. And Thomas says today is Tuesday. No, Thomas, today is Wednesday. Josh Reed says Thomas is always Tuesday in Caroga, so BertoPray doesn't have to do anything for a stream. Thomas says Cinnabon said he had tacos today, so it's obviously Tuesday. Just because it's Tuesday doesn't mean you don't only have to have tacos on Tuesdays. Josh Reed says, oh wait, it's always Tuesday in Bunnyland, so Cinnabon can have taco Tuesday every day. Well, that's between you and Cinnabon. Josh Reed says, come on, BertoPray, you're 5 hours late. I am not. Josh Reed says, this one of the episodes where Odo and Quark almost die together. And Thomas Spot says, yes. I can't think of too many other episodes where that happens. Josh Reed says, wake me up when we get to a good episode in the season. Next episode, Rapture, is an awesome episode. It's where Sisko starts having visions of the prophets and locusts. And Bajor is about to join the Federation until Sisko comes running out and says, locusts! Locusts! Bajor can't join the Federation or they'll be destroyed by locusts. You got Kai Wynn. It's a great episode next week. This episode, it'll be debatable. Next week's episode is not debatable. It's a great episode. Moxley Fan 21 says, BertoPray5 Qapla Bird. Hope you and the family are doing well today. We are, Moxley. Thank you. Another good sleep last night. Moxley says hello to you all. The Catman D.D. Myers says howdy to Moxley. Dan23 says, I did set reminder. Now the YouTube app does video automatically came on. Awesome, Dan. D.D. Myers is about BertoPray Qapla. How are you and the family? We're doing well, D.D. Moxley says hello to D.D. D.D. says howdy to Dan. The Random Menace says greetings from the future. Greetings, future man. Moxley says we, the people. Yes, in order to form a more perfect union, and so on. D.D. Myers says the Random Menace, howdy. Life with Matthew says Qapla, BertoPray5 and all. Qapla, Life with Matthew. Thomas says no bird cam, he must be nude. I was told on Wednesdays I didn't need to put up the camera because it wasn't that important. So, aside from the day we did Trials and Tribulations, I purposely haven't set up the camera or put on a shirt. D.D. Myers says, Thomas Potts, good afternoon. Random Menace says, greetings to D.D. Myers. D.D. Myers says, howdy to Life with Matthew and good afternoon. Like Matthew says, I love the Quark and Odo interactions. I love them when they're comedic, or strategic. In this episode, they're just, some of them just get a little cringy. But we'll see. I'll tell you, the Odo and Quark on the planet is my least favorite part of this episode. Thomas says hello to D.D. Myers, and he says, you also love TNG Shades of Grey, Matthew. Wow. That's some heavy stuff. Really? Life with Matthew, Shades of Grey? D.D. Myers says, hail Kuroga. Absolutely. Hashtag Kuroga Lives Matter. Absolutely. Thank you, Dee. John Street says, watch along with Bird of Prey 5. Only while he's live streaming the episode movie. Go to www.birdofprey5.com/SR. Thank you again, Josh Street. Easlyn Burkholder, Qapla. Says hello all. Hello, Easlyn. Dee says hello to Easlyn. Life with Matthew says it's fake news. Thomas Potts is spreading fake news again. Life with Matthew does not love Shades of Grey from TNG. Mike Richards says greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. And Thomas says just because it's Tuesday. Bird of Prey 5. D.D. Myers says a good afternoon to Mike Richards. Mike Richards says hey to D.D. John Street says Matthew, taser face, short shanks. Only Kuroga news is fake news. No, that is fake news. Thomas is live with Matthew. You said it last night. Commodore Ty says hello all. Commodore Ty, a great interview by that Canadian actress there. You did. I was very, very captivated. Captivated is the right word, by that actress. And I hope to find out more projects she's in, particularly more ones where she's in wearing that metal bikini she mentioned. And also in particular, if any of those are available in the US. John Araki donated $1. Thank you so much, John Araki, for the $1 super chat. And Commodore Ty, you should have had her do your intro to your videos instead of Detmer. That would have been pretty impressive. Live with Matthews says Thomas Potts, fake news. I said the sci-fi episodes that examine Shades of Grey in morality. Okay, so I could see there might have been you have to understand, Life with Matthew, the Turdistani educational system, it's, basic at best. So the very fact that Thomas even heard Shades of Grey and made the connection to a specific episode, it's actually pretty good for a Turdistani. But I can see where the confusion came from. And Commodore Ty says, check out the interview I did with independent film producer / actress B. Kingsley at his address. Yes, you will not be disappointed, except for certain times when Commodore Ty's head is blocking, parts of B. Kingsley during the interview, which is few and far between. He had the good sense to keep the head off to the side. D.D. Myers says, Commodore Ty, good afternoon and howdy. John Araki says, hashtag Gina Gone Wild. Mountains of Elysium says, greetings, Bird of Prey, Mum of Prey, Siso Prey, the Ball Buster, Nephew O Prey, and fellow nerds. Thank you, Mountains. John Street says, Commodore Ty, the girl on screen at the start of your video couldn't afford Burnham to do your videos. Nobody wants Burnham doing the intro to Commodore Ty's videos. D.D. Myers says, Mountains of Elysium, good afternoon. Thomas Potts says, Bird called me an idiot. See, I told you people, I'm stupid. No, I didn't say you were stupid. I said you were very smart for a Turtistani. Well, Price says that means stupid. I want to tell you, Thomas, I watched In the Pale Moonlight earlier today, and I told Cinnabon that you, being a senator of Bunnyland, you should come to Kuroga, that I've got an important videotape of Anti-Tracker making plans for a strike against Bunnyland, and Cinnabon should send Senator Potts to Kuroga to get this evidence. You guys will want to see it. So whenever you can, schedule a stop, a cloaked shuttle or something to come to Kuroga. We'll hook you up with some evidence and send you on your way. Mountains of Elysium says Bird of Prey, and of course, greetings to Sassy, chaser of Endorians, eater of Pakled, stalker of Klingons, defiler of Vulcans, and the scourge of Cardassia. Aru! John Aragi says hashtag free Apu, hashtag Quark did nothing wrong, and hashtag stay sassy. Dee Myers says Thomas Potts, you're not stupid. I agree. Thomas says Burnham is a sexy woman. I now less agree. Thomas Potts says still no side effects from my second shot. Mountains of Elysium says hail and greetings to the cat man. We actually got a phone call earlier today confirming our second shot for the 19th. Live with Matthew says, oh dear, the second dose of the vax has affected Thomas again. Thomas is Bird of Prey. I'm on loan to Bunnyland from Turtistan. Yeah, whatever it is, it's fine. Just get in your shuttle and come on over. Josh Reed says, CNN breaking news. Bird of Prey confirmed Kuroga has shot down criminals flying over Kurogan space. The craft shot down looked like a Federation runabout. That's fake news. Okay, so let's go ahead and start watching the episode. So, as I said earlier, the best way is to head to the screening room, which is www.birdofprey5.com/SR. Or if you have your own copy of the episode, get it ready. We are again on Season 5, Episode 9, The Ascent. Let's make sure desktop audio is turned off. It is. And Mountains of Elysium says, remember the alpaca mo. And Thomas says he loves Matthew. Wow. I guess that shot did a number on Thomas. Okay. So I'm going to count down from 5 and then load the episode into the screening room. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, load up and play. Sisko says to Jake that he's overpacking. He's like, it's not like he's going to Bajor. He's just going across. He's going the other side of the habitat ring. He's got his new quarters. Sisko says, wait till your son moves out on him. Jake says, I don't have a son, and laughs. Sisko says, go ahead, make jokes. One day you're going to be standing where he is. He's not going to like it anymore. Jake says, well, maybe, but right now he's standing here, and he can't wait to spend one night in his new place. And he says, see, I told you it would close. Of course, his pack didn't close. And Sisko says, so he can't do breakfast or lunch. He can come anytime he wants, but he's got to call before he comes. And he can count on one dinner a week. And Jake says, maybe 2 sometimes. Sisko says, it's you and Nog moving in together. He remembers the times he didn't even want him to talk to Nog. Jake says, yeah, things change. Sisko says, they sure do. And then we got Rom getting all ready for something. Yeah, and the doorbell rings. He says, come in. And it's Quark. And he's like, oh, it's you. Rom's disappointed. Oh, he thought it was Nog. And Quark is like, it can't be Nog. His ship didn't even dock yet. Yeah. Rom says, I can't help but be excited. My son's coming home. Oh, he's got 2 cases of root beer. He says, I don't know how to thank you, brother. Quark says, 10 strips of latinum. He says, do you think he'd mind if I had one for myself? He doesn't care. He has one anyway. Quark says, my own brother drinking root beer. It's so human. Guam says, and bubbly. Oh, the doorbell rings again. And nope, it's not him. It's Odo. Your constable. Care for a root beer? Asks Rom. Now Odo says, no, but you have something I do want. He looks at Quark and says, whatever I did, I didn't do it. He says, don't tell me, tell the Federation grand jury on whatever prime. And Quark says, whatever it is, I didn't do it. Odo says, oh, I think you know what it's about. He says, well, then we'll have 8 days to try and guess. We leave immediately. He says, we. Odo says, I've been waiting 10 years to get what you deserve. He's not going to miss it for anything. Rom says, brother, I'll say hi to Nog for you. Really? That's it? Not even a phone call? Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. I really heard some resonance. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Qapla, Stardust Surfer. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. I never noticed that Sirach Lofton has his name come before Chief O'Brien in the credits. Okay, so we're on the runabout. Odo's got his feet up, which is surprising. It's 191 hours and 17 minutes till they reach the grand jury. Quark says, do you want to play a game of Fizbin? A TOS game reference. Quark says he'll teach him. It's a very simple game. Odo says, let me tell you, I don't want to play cards, and even if I did, I wouldn't play with you. Quark said he used to think all the problems used to stem from the fact that he was a changeling, forced to live among strangers. He couldn't eat, he couldn't drink, he couldn't sleep. You couldn't make love. It wasn't any wonder you had such a bad disposition. He says, but you're not a changeling anymore. You're one of us. Life is yours for the taking. All you have to do is grab it. But do you? No. Because solid or changeling, you're still a miserable, safe-hating misanthrope. That's who you are, says Quark. That's who you're always going to be. He's still not playing cards with him, says Odo. John Street says, Bird of Prey, when Quark says he hears something, you better listen to him. Absolutely. So he asks Odo what he's reading. He says nothing that would interest him. So Quark pulls it out of his hands. He's reading a romance novel. And he walked toward her. Wow. Her hands moved to the brooch at her throat. She unclasped it, and the cloak fell from her shoulders. Her white skin glistening in the moonlight, lightning flashed, and heaven's thunder roared in rhythm with the beating of their hearts. Wow, Quark. And Quark says, Odo, I take it all back. You're obviously a lot more complicated than I thought. If you like that kind of thing, he might sell him his first edition of Vulcan Love Slave. Quark said, this is work. This gives them insight into the criminal mind. He says it's a well-known fact that a high number of homicides happen due to romance. And Quark says, well, no one gets killed in Vulcan Love Slave, but it's still a hell of a read. Odo says, you can say what you want, but when this is all over, I'll be headed back to Deep Space Nine, and you'll just be spending the rest of your life in a Federation penal comedy. And Quark says, at least tell me the charges. Odo says it's a high security situation. He can't discuss the specifics with anyone. Which is where that's not how things work. Odo would know why he's bringing Quark somewhere. And Nog is back. Cadet Nog reporting for duty, sir. At ease, Cadet. It says he remembers his sophomore year at studies. First got there, was a little apprehensive. Turned out to be one of the best experiences of his life. Nog just keeps saying, yes, sir. Keep your eyes and ears open. Follow orders. Try not to get in the way. Says, very good, sir. I won't let you down. And he rolls the baseball at him. He's like, I'm glad you and Jake are going to be roommates. I'm sure the two of you are going to have a lot of fun together. Nog says, yes, sir. Time permitting. If he's not too busy. But he is here to work, after all. But he says, don't worry. He'll look after Jake. Keep him out of trouble. Set a good example. Sisko says, you inspire me with confidence, Cadet. He hands the baseball back. And Sisko dismisses him, and Nog turns around and walks out very stoically. And Kira asks, how did it go? And Nog proudly says, I inspire him. Kira says, good, now don't let him down. Nog's like, you can count on me, sir. So they get Nog and Jake come to their new place. They turn on the lights. And Nog is like, he died and gone to the Divine Treasury. After living in cadet barracks, this is going to be paradise. Jake says, yep, we're on our own. Nobody to tell them how to live. And Nog says, before we do that, we should call maintenance to clean this place. And Jake says they were here yesterday. And Nog says, well, I guess if you want something right, you gotta do it yourself. I don't clean on the even number days, and you'll clean on the odd number days. And Jake says, oh, we're gonna clean every day? He's like, no, just the odd and even days. Oh. So Jake's like, what do you want to do tonight, Dom John? He's like, yeah, we're not gonna have time. Once we unpack, lights out at 2200. And then they've got to hit the gym at 4:30. He's like, 4:30. He's like, the gym? He's like, yeah, muscles. He's like, by the time I'm done with you, you're going to have some of your very own muscles. Oh. And Jake is starting to think this might not have been the best idea. Not penal comedy, penal colony. So Quark is just throwing, I don't know, coasters or round cards over to a chair. Odo's eating cereal or something. And Quark says, you're doing it again. What? He says, you're smacking your lips. Odo says, no, he's not. He kind of is. And Quark says, don't you hear that? The only thing he's heard for 4 days is Quark complaining. He says, this whole runabout is alive with annoying little noises. He says, listen, the buzzing noise. He doesn't hear any buzzing. And Quark says, it started an hour ago. He's like, if you don't like the noises, go in the back. He says, even colder back there than it is up here. He's leaving the temperature controls alone, says Odo. He says he will once he gets it right. There it is again. Quark is hearing a buzzing. The buzzing noise. Odo says, well, this lip smacking, how could he hear anything? Quark's like, where's it coming from? And Odo says, from inside his head. He said, be quiet. Odo's laughing. It's coming from here. It's a plate on the floor. He says, probably a defective iodine circuit. He said, they make a hissing. This is a buzz. It's like, we better open this hatch. Odo says, if this is some convoluted plot to escape. Quark says, that's odd. The buzzing changed pitch. Odo says he can hear it now, too. What could it be? He says, let's find out. Qapla, Sci-Fi Nation. Who never said my mic was effed up today? Still love you, bud. Hail Karoga, and greetings, everyone. I didn't know your mic was messed up. I just thought that was the mic you had. So it's a bomb. The buzzing sound was coming from a bomb. There's a bomb in the shuttle, in the runabout. And Quark says, next time I tell you I hear something, maybe you'll listen. He's like, if there is a next time, says Odo. So Odo says, I'll get a transporter lock and beam it out. He says, what if it's set to go off? What if it's set to go off if it's transported? And Quark says, fine, but set to channel the explosion through the transporter buffer. And of course, Quark doesn't move. He's standing right over it as he beams it out. It seems like most of the explosion went out, but of course, enough of it happened that the runabout's damaged. Everything's failing. Environmental controls are damaged. They're venting atmosphere. They need to find some place to land or wait for their lungs to explode in the vacuum of space. I've got a Class L planet in long range. Class L is barely habitable. He's like, well, it's more habitable than this is going to be in a few hours. Odo says if we're going to live through this, whoever planted that bomb is going to regret it. And Odo says, Quark says, you're not going to get anywhere near the Orion Syndicate. Odo said, if I knew this was the Orion Syndicate, you'd be on the Defiant right now. And Odo says, you don't know. You pretended you knew more than you did, so you thought I'd incriminate myself. Odo says, this is all your fault. Quark says, this is all your fault. He says, I'm not a member. He just knows people who knows other people. And besides, Quark says, and I don't know, eventually Quark is going to tell him, he's not going there because he's guilty. He's going there as a witness. Quark says, someone adjust the temperature, it's freezing. He's like, actually, it's freezing outside. They just woke up. Quark just woke up. He remembers they crash landed. You were apologizing for almost getting us both killed. And Odo's hair is all messed up. He says, you must have hit your head harder than I thought you did. Says, I guess there's nothing we can do now except send out a distress signal. Odo says, good plan, but we lost the comm system in the explosion. Says, it's not good. The replicator's been destroyed. The local plants are poisonous. He's like, I guess we're stuck with field rations. And Odo says, you're right. One package for you, one for me. The rest were destroyed in the explosion. Now we either freeze to death or starve to death, says Odo. Take your pick. Sci-Fi Nation says, after you left the panel, I noticed my mic was not connected. I heard what you said. The wire was coming off the back. It sounded much better once you put in the right mic. Nog is doing work, exercise. Says healthy body, healthy mind. And Jake says no cliches before breakfast. He found Jake's story while he was cleaning up. And he's like, well, what did you think? And he's like, disposal spelt with an I. He didn't read it for content. He mostly corrected his spelling and grammar. And Jake is like, you fixed my words? You changed my words? Nog says, yeah, just a few. Jake says, you can't change a writer's words without permission. That's sacrilege. He's like, okay, next time I'll make you make the changes. He's like, there won't be a next time. If you see my stories, don't touch them. Don't even move them. And Jake says, Nog says, that's fine. Just put them away when you're not working on it. Nog says it's time for him to hit the shower. And he gives Jake a dumbbell and says, remember, start with the lighter weights and work your way up. And Jake has no intention of doing any exercise. So Quark is in the back of the shuttlecraft, runabout, making a bunch of noise. And Odo's like, what are you doing? He's got the communication. The subspace transmitter. The signal booster shot. There's no way they can transmit a distress signal from the planetary atmosphere. So you tore it out in the wall in frustration. He said, no, I came up with a way to save our lives. All we have to do is haul this transmitter to higher ground. More altitude, less atmosphere. Go high enough, might be able to get a signal out. And Odo's like, how much higher do we have to go? And Quark says, carry the 7, take the square root times pi. He says, and he points out the window to the tallest mountain, that high. Yeah, so it just so happens to be the tallest mountain. You can see, it looks a lot like Yosemite Valley, California. I'm not sure if it is, but it looks a lot like it. So Quark found a really environmental suit in the back. Quark says, oh, it's the only one not destroyed in the explosion. So Odo says, there's only one survival suit and you get to wear it. And Quark says, finders keepers. He says, plus, carrying this transmitter up the mountain is going to keep Odo warm. Now they're crossing a stream. So, I mean, they might have water if they were so inclined to test it. Odo says, how can it be so cold when the sun is shining? Quark says there's not much of a sun. This isn't much of a planet. And you've got some nerves complaining about the cold when he's the one wearing the jacket. Odo says they agreed to take turns. And Odo says if he was still a shapeshifter, he could have turned into a pterodactyl and flown the transmitter to the top of a mountain. And Quark says, you're the one who wanted to be a solid. And he's like, I didn't want to be a solid. And Quark says, please. I used to watch you coming here, watching my customers, watching the Dabo girls, and not to mention his crush on the Major. And he's like, you wanted to be a solid. Josh Street says, vertebrae, it's Mount Whitney in California. That makes total sense. Thank you, Josh Street. Quark tripped. Odo says, if you damage the transmitter. And Quark says, I'm fine. Thank you very much. And so is the transmitter. Odo says, let me help you up. Quark says, no, I think I'll just lay here and freeze to death. He's like, okay, I'll carry the transmitter for a while. Odo says, and he gets the jacket. And Odo says that he gets the trousers. So, O'Brien is saying that Nog's got an excellent grasp for engineering. Nog says that Ferengis are naturally good at figures. Nog is going into his quarters, and Jake has a complete pigsty. It's the original Odd Couple in space, not the original. 9 hours ago, he couldn't keep the quarters clean. Jake's like, a man's got to live. And he's like, he doesn't have to stay messy. Nog's like, I'm going to a Replimat to get something to eat. When he comes back, he expects to see the place clean. New York. Oh, nobody. Phone. He's like, this isn't a story. It's computerized Domjot. So Nog says when he gets stuck, he plays Domjot. He's busy. He can't clean the recorders. He's playing Domjot. He's like, this isn't what we agreed to. He's like, we didn't agree to anything. You've been shouting orders since you moved in. I'm not in Starfleet. And Nog says, lucky for you, I wouldn't last a day in the academy. You wouldn't last a day in the academy. And Jake says, you're right. I would die of embarrassment wearing those pajamas. Big words from somebody who was voted the worst looking, worst dressed person on television. Nog says that Jake, he couldn't fold the shirt if his life depended on it. Sci-Fi Nation Vertebrae, Thomas Potts is here. We have to send him on that ambassadorial mission. Yes, I told him. I told him earlier. Quark says he's been walking for hours. He hasn't seen a single beetle. He says there's no beetles, says Odo. There's no slugs, no beetles, no worms, no snakes. Just rocks and trees, and we can't eat any of it. Odo says, Quark says, if I collapse, you got to carry me and the transmitter. Odo says, you're not going to collapse. We're almost to the tree line. After that, it's only a few more hours of climbing. He's like, a few, like 3. And Odo says, more like 6. Quark says, I can do 6. 7 might be pushing it. Uh-oh, they get to the top, and they realize the mountain is still farther away. Instead of 6 hours, it's 6 days away. Holy shit, how did they make that type of mistake? And Quark is counting every step. 10,752. He just wants to know how far they're going. Every step down means another step up. He's like, fine, don't talk to me. It's hard keeping track. By the time the grand jury gets through, you'll be counting years instead of steps. He's like, you know what's going to make all this look worthwhile? The look on your face when they let me go. Odo says, you don't think so. I don't think so. He says, and you call yourself, investigator. He says, the Orion Syndicate never kill their own. They all take their own life before testifying before the Syndicate. Don't you get it? I'm not a suspect. I'm a witness. All this. He's like, now you made me lose count. 10,785, says Odo. Oh, let me get this straight. You were never a member of the Orion Syndicate? He says, I hate to disappoint you. Odo says, you must have tried to join. Quark says he doesn't want to talk about it. He says, if I remember correctly, the Orion Syndicate has a membership fee, a substantial one. And the Ferengi Commerce Authority seized all your assets. Well, you know, O'Brien joined the syndicate and he didn't have to pay anything. And Odo says, all those years of lying and scheming and cheating, and you were still too small time for the Orions. I guess you're not as successful a businessman as you think you are. And Quark says, which means you spent the last 10 years of your life trying to catch a nobody with little success. So which one is a bigger failure? John Street says, I wouldn't last one day in Starfleet. Yeah, that's true. Sci-Fi Nation says, I see in the UK, just tested a new jetpack that goes 12,000 feet in altitude. You need oxygen at 10K and a few hundred miles per hour. Military industrial complex in UK much. I like it. I take it. And Rom asked Sisko if he could join him at the Replimat. He wanted to ask about Nog. He's like, my son. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I think I met him. Rom's like, have you noticed anything strange about him? Sisko says he seems dedicated. He says a year at the academy will do that to him. Rom says, you think it's the academy? Rom says, I'm afraid he might be a changeling. So while he was asleep, I drew some blood just to make sure. It's been 8 hours. So far, so good. He says, no, Rom, he's still your son. He's just taking his duties very seriously. He said, Rom moved back in with him. It's horrible. He put me on report the other day. Said his whatever was untidy. That's the exact word he used, untidy. He's like, he's just going through a phase, that's all. Rom says, I wish Jake would have rubbed off on him. He says, Jake's going through a phase too. We don't know what's so hard about putting a dirty dish back into a replicator. He calls Jake a sloppy, unfocused writer. And Sisko says, I sometimes wish Jake had a little more of Nog's self-discipline. And Rom says, I wish Nog had Jake's ability to enjoy himself. And Rom says, those two could learn a lot from each other. Sisko says, if only we get them in the same room. And we're back here at Mount Whitney. And Quark and Odo are sleeping. Odo's saying, "Wake up, Quark, we got a mountain to climb." Oh no, Quark is dead. Oh no. Odo killed Quark in his sleep. Oh wait, no, he's hitting him in the face. He woke him up. Quark. Odo says, "I thought that was dead." Oh, Quark is losing his hearing. He's deaf in his right ear. Oh no. A one-eared Ferengi is only half a man. If too cold, there's not enough heat, he's dying. Odo says, "You're not dying." Like, here, have the rest of your rations. He's like, "These aren't rations, these are crumbs. You can't climb a mountain on crumbs." Odo says, "Fine, I'll do it myself." Quark says, "You leave me? What do you want me to do? Sit here and trade insults so we starve to death?" Like, whose turn is it to carry the transmitter? It's yours, Quark. Figures. And Quark is testing his ears again. And Odo is, of course, doing the transmitter. Odo hates the mountain, he hates the transmitter, and the Orion Syndicate for stranding us here. And he says, "Don't blame me. It was Odo's job to get him to the trial safely." He said, "You didn't know." He's like, "You should have told me." And Odo says, "If I had, would you have told me the truth, or would you have lied like you lie about everything? Your idiotic little schemes." Quark says, "I hate it. I hate you." Odo says, "That's fine with me. I hate you too. You're nothing but a pathetic thief." Odo says something. Fascist. Oh, I got to blows at fascist. Freak fascist. And they're fighting, and now they're rolling down the mountain. Uh-oh. Yes, Quark, if he's okay. Quark says he's fine. Odo says he's not. His leg is broken. Wow, it really is broken. You wonder how somebody who's never been a solid would know what a broken leg feels like. But it seriously was. So Quark makes a a gurney. He says, "Stop looking at the leg, you'll pass out again." He's like, "I'm not looking at it." He's like, "It's probably going to hurt," as he puts the leg over. I think he made a splint for the leg. He's like, "There's no way you'll be able to drag me up the mountain." Odo says, "Stop being a hero. You get to the top fast if you leave me behind." He's like, "I'm not trying to rescue you. I'm taking you along as emergency rations. If you die, I'm going to eat you." And he's like, "Waste not, want not." He said, "Comfortable?" He said, "Not really." He said, "Enjoy the club." So now Quark is carrying not only the transmitter, but dragging Odo behind him, which is crazy, considering he could barely keep the transmitter going. I don't know how long they've been going, but it makes it seem like it's been a long time. Quark is trying to see if the transmitter will work, but they're not up high enough yet. We need to get higher. He's doing Odo and the transmitter again. Hold on, he says. And finally, it looks like they're at the base of the tall mountain, more or less. There's going to be a point where he can't carry Odo anymore. Quark is going to try the... Quark collapses. Odo says, Quark. Quark says it's over. He's like, what do you mean it's over? Quark says he can't move. We'll have to set up the transmitter here. Odo says, we're not high enough. Leave me here and go on by yourself. Says, don't you understand? I can't do it. I'm frozen. I haven't eaten for days. My muscles won't work anymore. Let him eat your leg, Odo. You don't need it. He says, Odo, say something. He says, what is there to say? We're dead. Quark says, I can't go any further. And Odo can't move like that with a broken leg. If Sisko was here, you'd think he'd give up, or Worf, or Dax. Odo says, they're not here. Quark says they're not here. Odo says, that's right, it's just us. And Odo says, give me the transmitter. He says, Odo is crawling on the ground. He's just pushing the transmitter. Odo says, Quark says, you'll never make it. Odo is, he did have a few hours to wait. He says, you're trying to embarrass me and shame me into carrying that the rest of the way on my own. Says, you might as well accept the inevitable and die with dignity. That's what I'm going to do. He's just going to lie here and die, says Quark. Sci-Fi Nation says Quark and Odo sitting in a tree. I don't know. And Quark says, my brother will get the bar. My nephew will be completely corrupted by the Federation and become a Starfleet captain. And my bones will lie here, frozen, unsold. Aww. And Quark finds the strength to stand. That's good, because Odo didn't get very far. He says, try not to break your other leg while I'm gone. Odo says he'll do his best. Odo says, good luck. And we got Jake in his messy quarters. Sisko comes in. He's like, Dad. I thought you were going to call first. Sisko says, we've got a problem. According to station regulations, this quarters needs 2 occupants. And he's like, smaller quarters, he'll move if he has to. And Sisko says, that's the problem. There are no smaller quarters available. And he says, well, where do I go? And Sisko says, I guess back home with me. And Jake says, you're kidding. He's like, unless we can find you another roommate. And he says, cadet. And he says, and Nog says, sir, I really must protest. And he says, cadets don't have that privilege. He's like, somehow you got to find your way to work. He's like, I do. I'm your father. And I'm your captain. I'm your captain. I'm your father's. What I say goes. So you got to find a way to make it work. Qapla, Dr. Alex. So he asked Nog if he's going to start cleaning again. So no, he's got to study. This is good because it's going to take a long time to clean up this pigsty. And Nog says it's not that bad. Jake says, laughs. He says, yeah, it's bad. Like, you want to go to the gym, healthy body, happy mind. He's like, how about a game of Dom Jot? He'll let him break. Okay, they're on. They're friends again. Quark is slowly climbing up the vertical side of a mountain. Why the hell? Odo, why are you going after him? Odo's yelling for Quark. Odo's beginning recording on his comm badge. Final entry. It looks like Quark didn't make it. Can't say I'm surprised. He'll find his body farther up the slope. No doubt. He'd want his remains auctioned off. Not that they're worth much. As for myself, cremate me. Stick my ashes in my bucket and shoot me through the wormhole. I might as well end up where I began. Or better yet. And then he gets beamed away by the Defiant. Bashir to infirmary. He's like, I'm alive. And Bashir, he's like, and Quark and Dax and Worf are there. Said we found Quark on top of the mountain. If it wasn't for his, he's like, this looks like he saved both your lives. And Odo's like, I was afraid you were going to say that. They found Quark on top of the mountain. So it worked out. Now they're both in sick bay together. Not that the Defiant has much of a sick bay. They're like literally in touching distance. They could hold hands. That's too close for a hospital. Says, we survived. He's like, I bet you were surprised I made it to the top. Odo said he was astounded. Says, remember back there when I told you I hated you and you told me you hated me? Odo says, vividly. He's like, I just wanted you to know I meant every word of it. And Odo says, so did I. And then they laugh. There we go. Defiance headed back to the station. Okay, I'll be honest. This was a better episode than I remembered it to be. The plot with the B plot with Jake and Nog and even Sisko and Rom interactions definitely helped the story. Broke up. I got a little tedious seeing Quark and Odo climbing that mountain for so long. Yeah, you know what? This isn't a bad episode. I think I had the wrong feelings about this episode. Rewatching it, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with this episode. Yes, Commodore Ty says it's an okay episode. It absolutely is. This would be a hard one to rank whether it was top 50 or bottom 50. This would be like right on the midline. This would be like an average episode of DS9. Would be hard to say if it was above or below. Of Trek in general, a very average Trek episode. I could live with it. There's obviously a lot worse out there. But in DS9, there's a lot better out there as well. And next week, for episode 10, Rapture is indeed one of those ones that's a lot better. It's Sisko finds a lost city on Bajor, gets powers, visions from the prophets. Bajor is invited to join the Federation. Kai Wynn is aboard the station. We have an admiral aboard the station. Federation delegation aboard the station. And then Sisko starts getting these visions from the prophets, which the Federation and Starfleet, they're not too happy about. But then Sisko demands that he be allowed to continue getting these visions, and then he starts worrying about locusts. He saw locusts attack Bajor, and so this is a big episode, a really big into the Bajoran mysticism. Really cements Sisko's position as emissary of the prophets to both the Bajoran people and to the Federation, to Starfleet. And there's internal between Jake and his father stuff. There's between Sisko and Kira and the Kai in terms of Bajoran and emissary stuff. And you got all the characters. You got Dax and Worf and everybody given their, and Dr. Bashir, everybody given their opinions. Odo. It's very, very interesting. It was a very good episode next week. So I can't wait for next week. The Catman D.D. Myers says, Bird of Prey, thanks for the episode. Not half bad. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good one. Yeah, I did too. Pretty good compared to what we've seen in other tracks. Josh reads, Bird of Prey, this episode is still better than anything in Discovery. It is a bajillion times better than anything in Discovery or Picard or Lower Decks. Thomas Potts, oh no. DS9 is a trash show. Picard and Discovery are true track. You know what, guys? The second shot is worse than the first. Be very careful. If you get the second shot, make sure you have Paramount Plus, because you're going to binge Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Picard. Oh well. For Thomas, well, at least he gets to enjoy, at least he gets to look forward to new seasons of Star Trek Discovery coming out. Commodore Ties, it was an interesting episode. DD says the Thomas Potts not. Dan says, okay episode today. Next one is interesting. Thomas is Bird of Prey. Sisko tells everyone the Dominion War is coming and Starfleet does nothing. Well, he doesn't say the Dominion is coming. He says locusts are coming. But I think he does say that if the Dominion came through the wormhole, would they be able to protect Bajor? It'd be a question. Commodore Ties, as Sisko talks about the Dominion War in metaphor, absolutely. And Commodore Ties says, if you're Canadian, all Star Trek is on Crave TV. Yes, but anyway. Thomas Potts says Jodie Whittaker will make Trek even better. Oh my God, like she did for Doctor Who. Yeah, she could be the new captain. You know what? She might take over Strange New Worlds And she'll be a captain that happens between Pike and Kirk that we never knew about because the Federation erased her from history because she was a woman. Yeah, so thank you guys all for watching. I appreciate it. Tomorrow I plan to, tomorrow I have dental work. The dentist supposed to be coming at 11 a.m. So with any luck, it'll be over. But tomorrow afternoon, I plan to stream again. I'm not 100% sure exactly what, but we'll make sure we'll see how I'm feeling and everything. So tomorrow, no promises tomorrow, but I'm aiming for like a 4 p.m. stream again. I'll update on someone else's stream, assuming I can. Dan says, I hate the dentist. Well, this dentist has been pretty nice so far. We'll see. This is not supposed to be any drilling or anything. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, Commodore, open lines. Open lines Thursday. But I'm just not sure of the time. With that, guys, Qapla all, and bird out. But wait, there's more. The video might be over, but there's more fun to be had. First, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel and have clicked that bell icon to get notifications of new videos in your YouTube feed. Share this video on social media to help this channel fight the algorithm that favors big media. Also check out www.birdoprey5.com for links to my other channels, various social media accounts, merch store, Dear Bop, affiliate links, and all your Birdo Prey 5 needs. At the main Birdo Prey 5 YouTube channel, you can find all sorts of live streams and unlisted videos, YouTube membership options, and a community section with polls and updates on the channel. On the secondary channel, Birdo Prey 5X, you can find overflow content that doesn't always make the main channel. Subscribe to both channels, please. Thanks for watching. Remember, I stream almost every day. This is Birdo Prey 5 saying goodbye, world. Until next time. P.S. Hail Sassy, hail Charlie, and of course, hail Kuroga.